Let's be honest, the world feels more complicated every single day. So, how do you find clarity in all that chaos? Well, it turns out there's a skill for that, and it's like a genuine superpower. Today, we are diving into that very skill, critical thinking.
Does this look familiar? You're scrolling, you're reading, you're watching, and it's just this constant, overwhelming flood of information. It can feel almost impossible to figure out what's true, what's maybe not so true, and what actually matters in the end.
And this isn't just a feeling you have, it's the reality of what we're all living in. You could call it the modern information maze. It almost feels like it's designed to be confusing, right? Like getting lost is just part of the deal.
Yeah, we're just constantly being bombarded with information from all sides. And that makes it a real challenge to separate the facts from the fiction. It's not a personal failing. It's really a defining feature of our time.
So, how do we find our way through this maze? Well, you need a tool. A kind of internal compass that always points true north. And that compass? That's critical thinking.
So, what is critical thinking, really? A lot of people mistake it for just being negative or, poking holes in arguments, but it is so much more constructive than that. It's really this disciplined process of looking at information without bias, of considering all the different angles, and then using solid logic to build a conclusion that you can actually stand behind.
We can actually break this down into 3 core steps. First, you analyze what's in front of you without letting your own beliefs get in the way. Second, and this is key, you actively seek out other viewpoints, especially the ones that might challenge your own. And third, you connect all the pieces with solid logic and reason. It's a simple, powerful process for finding clarity.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this actually work when things get messy and complicated in the real world? Let's try to apply it to something we all know.
Let's take a perfect, if pretty challenging example, climate change. It is a massive, incredibly complex topic with just a mountain of information out there. And that's what makes it the perfect training ground for our critical thinking skills. When you're faced with a topic like this, you really have 2 paths you can take. The easy path is to just accept the information that confirms what you already believe. We call that confirmation bias. But the other path, the critical thinker's path, means digging deeper. It means evaluating the actual evidence, looking at the scientific data, and genuinely considering what the experts are saying, even if it challenges what you thought you knew. It's the difference between just reacting and truly reasoning.
Now, this skill isn't just for navigating huge global issues. It's also one of the most valuable things you can bring to the table in your professional life.
Think about it from an employer's point of view. They aren't just looking for people who can follow a list of instructions. They're looking for real problem solvers, people who can untangle complex situations and make smart, informed decisions. That's the skill that drives real results in any business.
Okay, take a marketing campaign, for example. A critical thinker doesn't just go with their gut. First, they start with the data. What is it actually telling us? Then, from there, they map out a few different strategies, not just the first idea that pops into their head. And only then do they use logic to pick the best path forward. It's a system for success, not just a shot in the dark.
So, let's pull all this together. Why is it so important to dedicate some time and energy to building this skill? It really comes down to this. Critical thinking empowers you. It helps you make better decisions in every part of your life, from your finances to your health. It gives you the tools to solve genuinely complex problems, get better results at work, and ultimately just navigate this wild, modern world with a lot more confidence.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The whole point isn't just to think differently. It's to make informed decisions and solve complex problems effectively. In other words, it's about thinking with a purpose. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Now that you have this simple framework, analyze, consider, and reason, what's one belief you hold or one issue you care about that you could re-examine? What might you discover if you decided to look at it through this new lens?